So, good morning, one and all. So, we'll be discussing opportunity cost theory today. So, we have already compared David Ricardo's theory as well as Adam Smith's absolute advantage theory. And many has found out certain drawbacks of Ricardian comparative cost theory, which was based on labor theory of value. And also, it assumed that labor is homogeneous. So, many economists had different viewpoints. It was Gottfried Haberle who gave a new life to the comparative cost theory by restating the theory in terms of opportunity cost in the year 1933. The labor theory, which was considered invalid for two fundamental reasons, once again, firstly, it is because labor is not the only factor of production, and secondly, there is much heterogeneity in labor. Ricardo, in his theory, has taken that labor is homogeneous and labor is the only factor of production. We have already seen that the difference between comparative cost and absolute advantage theory is based on the efficiency in productivity, and comparative cost theory states that as a result of international trade, it results in, or the resulting fact is that it gives specialization through division of labor. So the labor the division of labor will provide specialization, and there will be gains from trade. While explaining Ricardo's comparative cost theory, we have already mentioned the opportunity cost approach. So that is how we proceeded. And J.S. Mill has made certain changes in the existing theory. He has added the comparative cost advantage theory into, or he has changed the comparative cost theory into comparative advantage theory using his concept of reciprocal demand curve. And the reciprocal demand was again further explained using a curve known as reciprocal demand curve or offer curve. Now, after this, the major change or reconstruction or restructuring the Ricardian model was done in the form of opportunity cost theory. This is considered as the neoclassical approach because it is the framework used is a neoclassical structure. So the reason of development was two aspects. One is the heterogeneity in labor, and labor is not the only factor of production. So this is the neoclassical restatement of comparative cost theory in terms of opportunity cost. So the theory determines the cost of producing a commodity in terms of alternative production that has to be foregone for producing the commodity in question. So the point is this: we have already learned about opportunity cost. That is the value of the next best activity foregone. So we are going to adapt the opportunity cost concept into international trade. So what happens? The opportunity cost of a product has to be analyzed, and how it helps in international trade, or how it becomes the base for international trade. So in that respect, we can say the opportunity cost of a product, for example, product X, is the amount of another product that must be given up in order to release just enough resources to produce one additional unit of the first product, that is product X. So consider that suppose that there are X and Y two products. So we have to produce more of X. So a part of product Y will have to be given away in order to produce an additional unit of product X. That is in the form of labor we have to give away, in the form of output we have to give away, and in the form of capital, whatever that is used in the process of production. So we are giving away, we are leaving a part of product Y, we are sacrificing a part of product Y in order to produce an additional unit of product X, which we wish to say export. So that is the opportunity cost. That is how much we are leaving, how much we are giving away the product, the part of product, the second product, that is product Y in our case, and that is the opportunity cost. So for example, we'll take an example of the production of cotton and wheat. We are producing 2 lakh bales of cotton and 1 lakh tons of wheat. Now we have to find out the opportunity cost of wheat. How can it be done? We are comparing it with wheat and with cotton. So in order to produce an additional unit of wheat, we have to leave away some units of cotton. So in order to produce an additional unit of 1 lakh ton of wheat, we have to give away 2 lakh bales of cotton. So 1 wheat equal to 2 lakh bales of cotton. So this is the opportunity cost. So the opportunity cost can be explained in the form of opportunity cost curve. It is also known as transformation curve or production possibility curve. So it is called as production possibility curve by Paul Samuelson, and it is also called by production frontier or production indifference curve by A.P. Lerner. So we'll have to remember all these points, who described it as a transformation curve, and also the A.P. Lerner's contribution to the concept. So this can be asked in any competitive exams which you have to face. Then in order to refer the transformation curve and all that, you can go for Microeconomics by Kochianis, page number 500. So with this introduction, we'll move on to the assumption. So every theory have its own sets of assumption. So it is a framework, the general framework in which the theory is developed. So here we have an economic system in which it is full equilibrium, full employment equilibrium. There is perfect competition. The price of each commodity equals to the marginal cost of producing. That means maximum, the production is done in the maximum level. Then the supply of factors are fixed. The state of the technology is given. There are 2 trading countries, 2 commodities, factors of production, capital and labor are used. There is perfect factor mobility within each country. The factors of production are perfectly immobile between 2 countries, and the countries with this free trade. It's not an autarchical condition. There is free trade. So free trade prevails in the nation. Now we'll move on to how to find out how the opportunity cost approach is used to explain the condition. So international trade between 2 countries takes place under varying opportunity cost conditions. Varying conditions are there. First one, constant opportunity cost. Constant opportunity cost. Then there is another position, that is increasing opportunity cost. Increasing opportunity cost. The third aspect is decreasing opportunity cost. So these are the 3 aspects in which we have to analyze international trade. So that is first one, constant opportunity cost, increasing opportunity cost, and third one, decreasing opportunity cost. So in these 3 conditions, we'll have to analyze how international trade takes place. So if there is a constant opportunity cost, what happens? When the production is governed by constant returns to scale, the marginal rate of transformation between the 2 countries, for example X and Y, remains constant. And the opportunity cost curve, that is the transformation curve, is falling straight line. That means it moves from left to right, the straight condition. So if it is a constant cost condition, the first point which we have to analyze, there is if the curves of both the countries, country A and B or country X and Y, whichever you have assumed, will have constant in nature. In this case, the relative cost of producing the commodities remains unchanged, irrespective of the ratio in which they are demanded. If the slopes of transformation curves in the 2 countries are same, so that the opportunity cost curves are parallel to each other, trade can be possible. The gains from trade can emerge only when the slopes of the transformation curves are different. So in this condition, there will be no, the first case we have analyzed the constant opportunity cost condition, in which the slopes of the opportunity cost, so the slopes of the curves are parallel to each other, they are the same. So that is moving from left to right. That is the marginal rate of transformation between the 2 countries X and Y remains constant. So the transformation curve, it remains constant. In this condition, trade is possible, but there is no gains from trade. In the case of production possibility curve, the slope itself shows the rate of transformations. Here again it is constant in nature. So in the first case, trade is possible between the nations, but the problem is that there is no possibility of gains from trade. If there is gain from trade, then the slope must differ. If the slope differ, then there is relative changes, that is the presence of relative cost ratios. These cases will have to be explained further. The gains from trade can emerge only when the slope of the transformation curve are different. That means the presence of difference in relative cost ratio. Relative cost ratio. If the cost of production are different, then we will not get a parallel straight line. The opportunity cost will differ and the slope will also differ, showing that the production also changes. The conditions of production also changes. So the gains from trade can emerge only when the slopes of the transformation curve are different. That is the presence of difference in relative cost. Okay, so this is a difference. So when it is governed by constant cost, constant opportunity cost to be precise, there are two conditions. The condition in which, the very first one which we have now analyzed, in which there is a constant parallel straight line of transformation curve, in which it is not possible to have gains from trade. Now the second condition is the one in which there is a difference in the cost structure. So the opportunity cost of both the countries are different. When there is difference in these two, there is a possibility of gains from trade. Cost ratios of the two commodities in both countries may not be the same. There will be differences in the cost conditions, and if there is a difference in cost conditions, definitely there is room for international trade. If it is the same, there is no use of international trade. If the costs are different in both the countries, then there is a possibility of international trade. And in such a condition, in order to depict that, we will use a transformation curve in which there is a difference in their slopes. So how can it be done? Now look at the diagram. So we will be using the x and y axis, the y axis, and this is the x axis. Now we are using commodity x, and in the y axis commodity y. Now we have the first opportunity cost curve, A, B. See how it is drawn. A, B. So this is A and here the end B. It moves from the y axis and reaches the x axis, AB. Now we have another curve, that is A dash, B dash. So AB and A dash, B dash, AB and A dash, this is B dash, A dash, B dash, AB and A dash, B dash represent the opportunity cost curves concerning the countries A and B respectively. They are not parallel to each other. So there is comparative cost differences. So the meaning is there is comparative cost differences. So this is the condition. Now we are going to join point A and the other side, that is B1, using dotted lines. We are going to join these two. Which shows the exchange ratio. Using this diagram, we can find out the internal exchange ratio as well as the external exchange ratio. So we understood that if there is, see in the first diagram, both AB and A dash B dash are the same. The slopes are the same. They are parallel to each other. That is the opportunity cost concerning the countries A and B respectively. They are two straight lines. So that means we have the similar cost structure. The cost ratio are the same. So the possibility is that there will be no international trade. Even if there is an international trade, there will be no gains from trade. So the point is that there will be no international trade, and even if it is so, then there will be no gains from trade. So if there are comparative cost differences, the slopes of the production possibility curve will be different. So that is what we see in the second curve, that is AB, the first country, and A dash B dash shows the curve of the second country, that is the production possibility curve or the opportunity cost curve or the product transformation curve, or you can clearly say that it is the the production possibility curve, to be precise, or if you can use the other term also, opportunity cost curve. Then the slopes of the curves clearly shows that country A has a comparative advantage in the production of Y. So here the larger gap, this is country A, it is having an advantage in production of Y, and country B is having a production advantage in the production of a commodity X. So that is why this part is somewhat longer. So it can produce less of commodity Y, country B, and can produce more of commodity X. And in the case of country A, it can produce more of commodity Y and produce less of commodity X. So it is having an advantage. Country A is having an advantage in commodity A, and country B is having an advantage in production of commodity X. So that means there is a differences. So you can see the clarity in difference. So that means they can exchange. And the ratio of exchange is shown by the price line. So this shows how much it is exchanged. The trade line, the dotted line, that is A, B1, that is the price line, AB1. It shows the price line. Suppose that country A wants to consume quantity of two commodities indicated by